Vision. Last night, Emily's baby was born, only 3 inches long, but it grew quickly. She put it in a dark cloth contraption so it would feel comfortable. Then she shook it around. Geography lessons. Mapped the lake's little bicep. Lovely the trace of coast, and lovely the new world. Followed the geese through spotlights, gun-chased geese, geese leaving lakes. Won't they counsel on wind and weather, drop articles of truth? Made a vestibule and then a tabernacle. Placed a feathered memento, decoupage of bone and trinkets in their good. Then there were all those other birds, of course. Which? The ones in the eaves. Isn't it messy, gathering, forecasting? Flatten my palms to the dwelling. Should something sacred be covered? Turned the handle, pulled the door. What do you think flew out? Rough cut. Yesterday I went back to the scene of the nothing, where nothing had changed. It was the same, everything. How? I visited the hours, the people beaten, when. It seemed, at certain moments, that nature turned to stone. How yesterday I walked the same road, as though the sky had not changed, the air had not warmed, the rain had not come down, or the cliff. The river had not risen. Track marks in the mud disappeared. The puddles I could have knelt in. The water seeped in, as though it were still alive, as though it were nothing, and nothing had changed, not even yesterday.
That was wonderful. Thank you all. Okay, we're going to go... I think we're going to visit Shore for a minute here.
Decay! Decay is a mercy! A mercy teeming! Lushly! Says we, decadent with decay! Decay is my mercy! Lushly! Says we, decadent! Decadent with decay! Ten-toothed! Ten-toothed, wet, wet, wet! Wetter, wetter! Can you get any wetter? Wet with the we of us! Find a way. What's the way anyway? What's the way anyway? The voice! The voice I dies inside! Wakes up! Wakes up! Wakes up and up and up! Higher, 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 higher! Take it higher! Higher! Wakes up and you oh! Oh! Oh, the oh I oh with! Running out of roads. The oh I oh with what? What with green? Green the stake! Green the snake of your tongue is mine! Wet! Wet with green! Greedy, greedy, have you ever met anything greedier in your life? A trench! A trench! A trench wet with stench!
Old Jim Crenshaw had gone up to the swamp about half a mile north of Lake LaBarge, not knowing when he would be back. I got a call that night from a friend on the lake that something didn't seem quite right. The record of the first half of this trip, or at least what led up to it, he kept in a field notes journal we found in his truck. The rest, you're going to just have to take my word for. Note 1, September 28th, 4:17 a.m. Timberdoodle, mudbat, bog sucker, night partridge, Labrador twister. Note 2, October 1st, 12:36 p.m. Have got to get down that rock. They walk slowly while rhythmically rocking their bodies back and forth. I haven't had to move like this before. Arthur Cleveland Bent and B.H. Christie and Heinrich and Alcock all argue about why they do it. To actually get there, I guess I'll just have to find out for myself. I like the theory about the worms. Cleveland Bent thought they were coaxing invertebrates such as earthworms closer to the surface. I'm hoping worms will be enough. I will pack a snack for the drive, apples and cheese. I can't show you now, but Jim had taken great care to sketch the American woodcock from a few different angles. Quite excellent renditions. Note 3, October 4th, 6:21 p.m. Camouflage. Plump body, short legs, a large, rounded head, and a long, straight, pensile bill. Adults are 10 to 12 inches, or 25 to 30 centimeters long, and weigh 5 to 8 ounces, 140 to 230 grams. Females are considerably larger than males. The bill is 2.5 to 2.8 inches, or 6.4 to 7.1 centimeters long. Wingspans range from 16.5 to 18.9 inches, or 42 to 48 centimeters. Plumage mix of different shades of browns, grays, and black. I trust the process, but I'm going to have to do something about all that. There might be mud near the swamp's edge. Note 4, October 6th, 5:34 p.m. Taking a trip to the swamp about half a mile north of Lake LaBarge, hoping to catch the woodcocks at the swamp's edge. I should be there before they fly, enough time to get ready. I figure by the time I reached Lake LaBarge, the reports from the folks down near the swamp weren't anything more than a fright. Though when I got to that last half mile, I slowed real down and flicked on the headlights. There in the break in the pines was a row of birds, about to make their journey across the road. With each step they wobbled, body moving in a swing up and squat down. There at the end of the row was Jim Crenshaw, covered in mud, making his way back to the swamp. It's hard to tell in the glare of the truck's lights, but I could have sworn that feathers had started to peek out from his spine. I needed to get closer. The snap of the truck door opening was enough to spook the group, and they were off. I don't know how he did it, but I watched long enough to watch Jim Crenshaw fly off over the swamp just north of Lake LaBarge.
Thanks, y'all. That was wonderful.
July. The lived world shrank and kept shrinking. Blank gleam, but with teeth, fanged and with teeth. I was in my box, and I stayed in my box. Everything was outside, and I was small. But to me, I got bigger and bigger. Alone, I filled space. In the past, I'd feared stepping into a dark, empty room, the sound of applause. Now here I was, empty room, no applause. Dear shadow, come back. Once I sat close to my friend. I could lean into his body, side by side on a bench, where we sat looking out over rivers high water, night's orange, red, and white lights, barges, buildings, and tugs. Reflecting a black surface, we sensed without feeling. I touched his back once, said I've been looking out and I want to be pushed. He didn't touch back. The sounds bounced into shelters, wishful transmissions, fate caves, and other small places. What were woods? Can I unbuckle and buckle right up? That's Orion there, that's his belt. Grass, then gravel, snake, then chain. Suck the honey right out of the flower. What can you get for $1? The azaleas bloomed, then the daylilies. The dinner cooked, then the bell. Peanuts first, sliced apple with dip, a green and red tray. Soaked our skin in mineral oil to keep away the gnats. A sense of people coming and going. Spanish moss, they said it gave you lice. The train goes fast through here, watch out. Illegal to press those pennies. The rust of whatever is metal. It's the sea air, salt. The water, good for cuts. Keep the sand off the street, walk down a few steps. At the seawall, the undertow, take you right out. A girl got struck by lightning here. Our hair stood up and we ran. What you hear now are frogs in the low de facto pond of the empty lot next to the house. Always was field there ever since. Walls so thin, you heard the sand on the bottoms of our feet, on the cheap tile of the bathroom floor. Slippers shuffling across, on the dawn side of the porch. Woke up in sweat sometimes. One year we swam with tar balls, another with pieces of siding, shingles, red tide near the drainage canal, 2x4s with rusty nails. We dug until we found clay, then we smothered our skin with it. New green leaves on the trees, the branches bone-like shadows on the lawn. Mostly she was gone. Black sheep, she said, you're like me. River. Over the refinery's lights, the sky spreads orange at night. Walking the levee in the hot, damp air, past the cutoff, past the abandoned military base, the graffitied buildings. If I get dropped off at the ferry landing, I wait 2 minutes before pulling out a cigarette. I wait for the boat, ignore the men, their looks, my 14-year-old arm tight over my purse. My wallet was stolen here once. The ride is free is the length of a smoke. At first, I walk to the only cafe I like, Caldi's on Decatur. I have no taste for coffee yet. Buy an Italian soda. The cold marble countertops contrast with the street. The clientele, long black hair and drapey clothing, heavy facial piercings. Drink the sweet, then to the shop on St. Philip that sells Manic Panic, metal jewelry, silver ball chains with sparkling stars. I look for sneakers, red Adidas, white Pumas, baby blue Vans. The street smells like vomit, like urine and beer, syrupy liquor, warm trash in the heat. When I beg my mom to buy me things, I take her here.
Breaking apart from water, from wood, from want, to axe, to iron, to fire, to flight. I am the birds, the flies, the men. I am darkness, night after night. I, like most, had dreamed of the city's death. Now I am refused everything. There is no mind cover. There is no gate to climb or clasp. There is no body to hold or to hold upright. I have been drawn over ancient stone to rest in a place known by no one. And how unbelievably cold. I am ash, but once I was fire. All is a dust, a cosmic accident. I am its atomic witness. I am ash, but once I was fire. Desire sharpens my senses, the cruel ache of impossibility. Hunger is a sharp knife. As the air is dense and crushing, I bear the inevitable weight of death. When I have forgotten the sound of my own voice. Was it tin, gravel, music? Did she sing, scream, stake out what was hers, like that fragile coast? That feeling, that failure, that open field. I could almost touch her in the image.